Hi everyone! Today I want to talk about the differences between A students and C students, and more specifically, which is better. Not really which is better, but which approach is better. So growing up, I was an obsessive compulsive A student. I prided myself on getting good grades. I tried to get all A's because I wanted to get into a good university, and that was basically my life goal. And not to say that I studied a lot, but I did put school as my priority. So, from personal experience, my parents didn't force me. They weren't like, oh, you have to get all good grades. I was just very self motivated, and I got satisfaction from being praised, from having that consistency because I wanted to go to a really good college, and that was my motivation. And I actually really enjoyed learning, and the subjects I had in school interests me. However, there was a lot of subjects that I didn't actually care about. I only completed these tasks to maintain this perfect record. Let's first look into the advantages of being an A student. Well, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is that an A student has to be motivated, organized, diligent, detail oriented, and all of these traits are very useful later in life. So it's good to be someone that's reliable, that people know you're going to get it done, that you're going to do the right thing. So by becoming an A student, you're cultivating very good characteristics in yourself. Also, because you study, you become knowledgeable, you become well read, you know a lot, and that you become a person that is interesting to converse with. Also, of course, if you're getting good grades to get into a good college, that can give you an opportunity to connect with great people, very smart people, to get good connections that can set you up later in life. And also, companies can look for students from specific schools, so that can give you ins to some places that other people might not have. And yeah, you can be confident. So, like for me, being a good student was part of my identity, and it really, in that time, it was something that gave me a lot of confidence. But obviously, this has a dark flip side. When you're an A student, you're first of all, you're like, you need people's approval. So a lot of times you're not even doing it for you, or you're doing it for some kind of, you're not doing it because you care about all those topics and you care about staying up till 3 a.m. and learning. It's about because you need approval from yourself, or from your parents, or from your teachers, or you just like being the smart kid. And that is not a great thing, because then when you graduate, you're again just looking for approval, and you don't know what it means to have just approval from yourself. Second thing is, you're not that good at following your passion, kind of stemming from the first one, is because you're not doing this because you like it. You're doing it because you think you're going to get something out of it. And so when the time comes to start having your own interests, to start doing something that you're passionate about, it's so scary and it's so unfamiliar, because you've been cutting off those urges to do what you want, to go study, to go do an extracurricular, to do what your teacher wants you to do. Third and biggest thing is, to succeed as an A student, you need to focus on the negative. So you need to focus on what you're missing to get to 100. Translated into life, that's a horrible plan, because you're always focusing on what you're missing. So you might have a great job, a great husband, you're making money, you're healthy, but your closet's not organized, or your family's coming into town. And I think everyone's prone to it, but a perfectionist A student is even more. So instead of focusing on all these amazing things that you have, you're going to be focusing on these three things that you don't have anymore. So I think that's the biggest downside of an A student. Plus, we're sticklers, we're like obsessive, just way too detail oriented, because in life you just need an MVP, a minimal viable product. You need to put something out there, and as a perfectionist, you're gonna keep working on it, and then it's gonna be too late and the train already passed. Okay, now let's focus on some C students. So here I think we need to distinguish the two types of C students. You can be a C student where you know what you want and you're dedicating time to that. You don't think academic success is part of that, so you tell everyone to, and you're focusing your time on things that you find important. with that kind of mentality, honestly, I don't see a lot of drawbacks. The main thing that could happen is that maybe you don't get into the school that you deserve, that maybe people who are in the admissions process don't see past the grades and past, a certain GPA average. And the second thing is that you might develop a complex because some parents are very set on their kids getting A's, or some professors, and you might, even though you're doing the right thing, other adults might be creating a complex in you. On the other hand, if you're a C student that's basically just not trying and you're playing video games all day and you're just saying, oh, I don't care, when in reality you wish to do better, then at that point, yes, I do recommend, trying harder and going for A's. That's not a bad thing, to have high standards for yourself and to try and apply yourself. The upsides of being a C student kind of flip what I said about the A student. So you're able to follow your passion. So C students, and again, not all of them, and this doesn't apply to all A students or all C students, but the pattern that I've seen is C students don't focus that much on school because they don't think it's that important, and they take the time to do what they love. So maybe they're into like filming or sports, or they pick their passion and they follow it. And that is a trait to be commended, because you're not just doing it for approval, you're doing it because you want to do it. Second of all, yeah, you're more chill. So C students, again, don't fuss about the details and are more about getting it done. So I was at this one conference and one guy said, oh, my wife's so anxious and depressed, even though we have all these things and we're making good money and everything's going well, but she's always thinking about what if it all goes away. And I asked him, was she an A student? And he said, yeah, how did you know? And then there was another guy there who is like 25. He's already made millions of dollars. He's got a very successful real estate brokerage. I mean, his life is just incredible. And I asked him, were you an A student? He said, hell nah. I was like failing out at one point. Definitely a C student. So that is to say, it's on one side you have thinking, on the other you have action. Thinking and action. And action, as long as it's, not something completely ridiculous, it's always going to give you better results than just thinking and ruminating. So that's the biggest advantage of C students, is they're able to take action, not focus on the details, get the MVP out there, be able to enjoy themselves and follow their passion. So, bottom line, which is better? If I had to read it, so in college, I realized how much it was hurting me to be so obsessed with grades. And so I started getting like bad grades on purpose, and that was horrible. I had like a mental breakdown, but it helped me to just be a little bit more relaxed and to be more action oriented. So I think if I had to do it all over again, I don't think it would have been a C student on purpose, but I would have taken their traits and applied it and gotten that occasional B or C, because instead of studying, I would have gone out and done something fun. And not that A students don't do that, but it's just about that, like, that frantic, like, obsessive mentality of being perfect and of trying to do everything right, that just is not compatible with being a human. So yeah, so all of the C students out there, I'm validating your experience, and I think we all have something to learn from you.